Good afternoon, everyone. It is November 14th, 2023, and we have just finished with a rocket of a CPI session. I'd mentioned that I thought the bias was upwards, and I mean, you can see for yourself, pretty large gap up today across the indices. Here's the S&P getting close to kind of these swing highs from September. Still have not taken that September high out. NASDAQ only, what is that? 0.5% or something, 0.44% for making a new high on the year. And keeping in mind, that's the all-time high right there. So we're not too far from it. Dow also with a huge move upwards, still kind of trading roughly kind of where the S&P is in relation to during the prior sell. The Rusty was kind of the area of focus, I think, for everyone. Check that out, 77.5 million shares. That might be the biggest day we've had. What was this day? 74. Kind of biggest day since January of 2022, actually. That's a huge move. I think it really took a lot of people. I think it surprised a lot of people. The COT was showing that they were overly short on the Russell. So is it just a squeeze? I don't know. Tomorrow, if we break that low of the day from today, I will be looking to get short. I will have a sell stop at that low there, and I will gladly short this thing with a stop loss over here and look for it to get lower. That is if we break that low, which, to be completely honest, I doubt it. PPI tomorrow, pre-market, and then crude inventory is about an hour into the day. Look, XLK, as far as I know, made a new all-time high. Get rid of all these stupid drawings. There you go, right? Here's 2021, end of 2021. Made a new all-time high in July. There you go. Here's another all-time high. It's kind of hard to be fighting this thing, right? XLK being tech. It's hard to fight this thing. I'm going to be likely, unless we gap down or something crazy like that, I'm going to be looking for longs tomorrow. Not just on the NASDAQ, but on the Dow, on the ES. Past few days, we have had the NASDAQ lagging a bit. I mean, today we were struggling to accept the initial balance high, so kind of this high over here, we were struggling to accept above it. We did into the end of the day, but we did struggle a bit there. But to me, that is only because we've come so far, right? If we were comparing this to the ES, the S&P is trading roughly down here, below these September highs, right? There you go. It's trading over here. So it makes sense that it's taking a bit of a look. It might be lagging intraday, but it's clearly leading from a higher time frame perspective. Let's get into the zones. This is nothing complicated for tomorrow. Here we go. Turn off the indicators. There we go. I'm mostly interested in getting long pretty much above the middle of today's range, today's RTH range here. There you go. There's the middle value area low is sitting somewhere in here. Looks like it's 447 and 96 cents, so kind of the top of the zone. I like it. Looks like a good spot. I think if you were a breakout trader, you could probably play for a breakout long, even if we get into here, kind of around the open and overnight highs and CPI highs, blah, 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 blah. I think this still manages to get a bid. Maybe we kind of look below yesterday's low, and then I think it just ends up getting bid right back into range. NASDAQ, not too dissimilar. I want to get long somewhere around the IB high to kind of this mid, I don't know what, kind of morningish high, and then wanting to get long somewhere around here. No major difference there. Let me just copy this over. There we go. There we are. Yeah, value area low 384 and 28 cents. So yeah, kind of in here where we kept getting bids. Above, maybe we'll get into this zone, but really that's all I'm really looking at. Dow. Here we are. Again, the open. Yeah, kind of this area where we kept getting support, ended up being value area low, and then maybe we get something happening at the highs. It's not really too complicated to me. Here's Globex currently trading. Nice little green numbers coming out for now. If we get any sort of trade above value area high, which looks like we are right now, yes, yeah, value area high, 45.18 quarter, we're already trading 18 half. You know, I doubt we gap up again. What I do think happens is we get above kind of this high, we get a sell during the open, and we find a bid somewhere around here, and then we go ahead and make some new highs. That's all I really got for you guys. Thursday unemployment numbers, industrial production, Friday building permits. So tomorrow with PPI coming out, look, we had this wasn't actually a huge intraday range. If you look at just the RTH here, it wasn't any sort of massive range, right? 40 points. That may have not been a massive range, but look at where we're coming from. That CPI candle was what, like 70 points or something? 66 points. So the entire session range is about 105 points. PPI probably gives us a little bit of volatility. So usually you would have a big expansion session leading to some contraction. With PPI news coming out and already having moved up such a huge amount, I imagine that kind of balances itself out and we end up with another kind of 40-point range day. I imagine getting a low somewhere around 44.95 to 05, 45.95 to 03. Let's call that a rough low of the day estimate. You add about 40 points to it. Yeah, it looks about right. 45.35, 45.40. You can go back in time, see what that lines up with. That looks like kind of a spot, right? That looks like something. That looks like something. Yeah, that looks about right. 45.35 to 40. That's where I'll be looking for tomorrow. This is becoming rambles. That's all I got. People were really short the Russell. It ramped up. People were not super long the NASDAQ. They were slightly short the ES. It ramped up. The Dow, they were super short. It ramped up. The 6C, by the way, I discussed this the other day. It was interesting to see the 6C was actually lagging compared to all other currencies today. Maybe this will show up here. 6C. Ah, damn, this session just started, so it's not going to show me where we were as of yesterday. But the 6C was the currency that was lagging, which indicates to me that they were still trying to short it and keep it held down. That is in despite of this huge selling happening on the dollar, the US dollar. Anyway, looking to be a buyer tomorrow. And that's likely going to be kind of the theme that you hear me say until we take out last Friday's low. That's really where we trapped the shorts. That's where they're all fucked. That's where, once you break that Friday low from last week, maybe you can get into the gaps down below. Here you go. That's what I'm talking about. If you can break this Friday low, maybe you can get into these gaps or something. I think you do end up finding bids somewhere here into the end of the year. I think these Santa rally guys, they get fucked. I think everyone who's chasing long here into the end of the year, I think they get screwed. I think we kind of close around this 420-ish area. Everyone gets confused into the end of the year. It's kind of a nice spot to close. Have a great night. Trade safe.